up, guys? We're back again. We are doing it for the 11th episode of the Weekly Vibe. I'm here with Ian. We have no guests this week. We had tons of people asking. We told them all no because we are banning guests forever. No more. Today's episode, we're going to talk about defense because episode 11, Bill Russell. So...
Yeah, Kev actually lied. There is a special guest today. It's actually Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Bill has joined the podcast.
Yeah.
You guys said you wanted some clickbait. I'll be sure to put that in the title.
Episode 11, Feet Bill Russell.
I should have said this at the end of the video so that they forced everybody to watch the whole thing. But
guys, watch till the end. We'll have Bill Russell.
It's just some random dude named William Russell from like some accounting firm agreed to join us.
It's just some Texas speech bot we hooked up. Hello, Bill. Hello.
It's just Birdie again.
Oh
no. Thanks for coming on last week. We appreciate it.
Gosh. Yeah, it sure was something.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, today's episode.
Now you all know that Pete Maravich should have a higher ADP than Darren Williams.
Yeah,
Davis, Gilbert Arenas, all those guys.
Yeah,
$1 for all of them.
You have no idea how much that angered me during recording me.
$20 is what Pete Maravich's price is actually now. So he's an early third rounder. So
goodness.
Get in line because that's going to be the new agenda here at Vibe Central.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, we're gonna talk about some defense. So first, we wanted to start off just analyzing the different types of defense, who's best at those certain types of defense. It's kind of overall because there are multiple ways to play the art of defense.
Mm-hmm.
On the post, on the perimeter, point of attack, help, off ball. There's tons of elements and layers to it.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. See. Who's a good name to throw in first for a GOAT defender of a specific type?
Well, GOAT defender of a specific type. I mean, was there anybody better? And Liam and I were discussing this earlier. Was there anyone better than Nate Thurmond at post defense?
Probably not.
No, because
probably not.
He could just stop anyone, and he used his strength to his advantage. He was intimidating, and he was more active than he was given credit for. I think I was the one who had that misconception today, but I ended up watching more Thurmond film, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, he's just elite down low. Like it's really hard to score on him. And I've seen stuff before about was it 7-year primes for the top centers during that time, and what their offensive efficiency was. It went down for all of them, and I mean like literal goats of the game, like Wilt and Willis Reed, and Wes Unseld, and all those guys from that era. And it's amazing to see that he had that much of an impact on those elite ass defenders, or on elite ass offensive players, or not even offensive players, but just like in general of who they were. You know, they had trouble against Big Nate, so he's definitely one that I'd like to throw out there. And I think in general, Nate Thurmond gets overshadowed when we talk about all-time defenders. I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. He's the best of the best, and simple as that.
Right? Yeah. It's like Nate Thurmond's another one of those guys. Even though his offense is for these probably translates to negative, when you're building an offensive team and you need that big anchor, you can look at a Nate Thurmond.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't. That's why I like guys like Ben Wallace and Nate Thurman because and Dikembe Mutombo to an extent.
Yeah, Dikembe's awesome. I love Dikembe.
They are not going to give you much on the offensive end, but they're gonna be so valuable on the defensive end that you know that almost holds more value because they're taking points away. Whereas on the
Mm-hmm.
offensive end, they're not exact. Well, okay, Thurman might be taking points away on the offensive end sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely like Wallace and Dikembe, I don't think they were taking as many shots per game that would have killed the team. And you look at like how good those Pistons teams were, with Wallace as
Mm-hmm.
the anchor, and it just shows like you can use them in an all-time sense because they're going to anchor your defense to an elite level. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I saw someone say something somewhere that made me just want to throw up. But they said that Ben Wallace isn't elite enough of a defensive anchor to cover for Kiki Vandeweghe. I was
Yeah, I
just
don't know about that. I don't know
no,
about that.
like we're talking about a borderline top 10 defender
Mm-hmm.
of all time.
Right.
Because when we look at defenders, obviously, like there's some great guard defenders. Obviously, Moncrief, Walt Frazier, Jason Kidd,
Mm-hmm.
those types. They're all good, great defenders, all time defenders, but they're not taking away the most important shot, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what these rim protectors do. Rim protecting is probably the number one.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is the number one uh, type of defense that we value because I mean you're talking about them taking away probably on average what like a 60% shot 60-70% shot that goes
Right.
in.
Yeah.
that's
Right.
that's elite. Like that
Right.
if you
That's it's why Rudy Gobert is so valuable because 21 Rudy Gobert was scaring scorers from the rim.
Yeah, yep. And that's why he's going to end up probably being one of those all-time defender types too,
Yeah.
because it's just the way I mean he's just that
Right.
good.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think that, not to get too far off topic, but Nate Thurmond is definitely one of those types that is the goat at post defense,
Right.
in terms of using his brute strength and just
Right.
his overall ability.
Right. Yeah. For sure, a great name. I'm trying to think of who I'd list as the GOAT perimeter defender.
Mm,
Because
mm.
there are a lot more names for that. There are a lot of top candidates.
There for sure are. I think that I listed a few just a couple minutes ago,
Mm.
but I definitely think that there are quite a few out on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
that are elite.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think.
Me too. Like this is way harder than the post defense choice.
Well, I think that if we're going to talk about somebody who can guard your best player no matter what position, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
obviously excluding some outliers,
Mm-hmm.
but just thinking about who that guy would be, that specialist that would just take out your favorite player.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know, how many guesses do I get?
You get two. I'll give you two guesses.
Scottie Pippen.
Not Scotty, but that's a good one.
Kawhi Leonard.
No, I'm
Ah.
talking about Tony Allen.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
you're
Whoa.
a bit off in terms of all-time players, but in terms of taking out your favorite player, like a
Hmm.
isolation defensive player type, I feel like Tony Allen might just be the best at that. Um,
Yeah.
he, I mean, his series with Memphis, where he was guarding, you know, albeit Kawhi or KD or anybody, he did very well on them, and he took them out of the
Hmm.
game. And I think that's important when we're looking at defense as well. Is if you can take out a team's best scorer, that also holds value too. It may not be the number one
Mm-hmm.
type of defense we value, but that's also
Yeah.
very valuable if you can just straight up take team's best player and make them inefficient or non-existent.
But yeah, that's actually an entirely fair pick. Tony Allen really was great at his craft.
He was probably one of my favorite players ever. I
Yeah.
have a list of like niche players that are my favorite players ever, and
Yeah.
he's one of them.
Yeah, Tony Allen was rad. I remember when I would play like NBA 2K17, and whenever I did a rebuilding team, I'd always sign Tony Allen because I wanted him to have a longer career.
Yeah, he got to.
Mhm.
He's actually him and Zebo are going to be the first Memphis Grizzlies to get their numbers retired.
Yeah, congrats to Tony Allen and Zebo.
Yeah, we're not going to be talking about Zebo in terms of defense tonight, but congrats
No,
anyways. Um,
Zebo is something else.
they were integral parts of those great Grizzlies teams.
Mm,
To be fair, um,
mm,
I don't think we can deny that. I don't know if I would have picked Zebo to be the first one to retire the number 4, but
uh,
he deserves to have his number retired there for sure.
mm,
But I do like Tony Allen getting his number retired. Um,
mm,
I think that's much deserved. He did. People,
mm.
I like people seeing that he can actually um, hold like a ton of value while not being like points per game so.
Mm, mm.
But yeah, I mean, just in terms of locking down one guy, it's hard to argue with Tony Allen.
Yeah, that's fair. Tony Allen's a pretty interesting pick there. I like that a fair bit.
Mm-hmm. For sure, for sure. What about
That's
you? You got a specific type? Well, okay.
specific type. Mm. I
A
don't know.
specific.
I could meme and say Rocco go off ball defender.
It's not really a meme though. Like
Yeah, he is up there. He is up there.
it's not a meme. Like he's actually legitimately good on the defensive end, and if we're not
Right.
looking at his offensive game at all, he's incredibly valuable in that
Yeah.
regard.
He he probably is like straight up like when you're categorizing forwards, he's one of the best off ball forwards on defense ever, I think.
Yep, yep, for sure. He's on ball. It's a different story, which is kind of
Right,
crazy to
yeah.
think
It's
about.
which is why
Whereas,
the Blazers are blessed that they got Larry Nance.
yeah, for sure,
Nance is so good on ball.
that defense got a lot better. They need
Hmm.
defense out there, so
Yeah,
hopefully they continue that. But
right.
yeah, I think Rocco isn't a meme in this
Hmm.
sense. We meme Rocco a lot just because of
Yeah.
where he goes in drafts, but I think that in terms of this, like if we're just valuing him like in terms of a weak side help defender or some anything like that.
Right. He
Um
is very great at that.
yeah. And it's kind of funny like how like some people are really, really good at one specific thing on defense, but like
Hmm.
not great at another. Like you look at Jaylen Brown, like I'm pretty sure Jaylen Brown on ball is like a really it's like pretty clear positive defender. Whereas
Yeah.
if you look at his off ball defense, he's like Trae Young out there. So it's like
Mm,
what are we really looking at here? But
right.
those specific types are incredibly valuable.
Hmm.
Um, I think that yeah, that was yeah, Rocco. Sorry, I forgot. I
Yeah.
lost my train of-
Okay. Yep.
It's 1 in the morning. All right,
Yeah.
just
We're having fun recording super late, hanging out.
yes, for sure, for sure. But
Hmm.
yeah, Rocco's not a meme here at all. Like talking about him in terms of defense, I'm pretty sure he's the goat at that specific trait, which is
Hmm.
specific, but he still is, and that's why he holds value for us.
Hmm. A
Never
good name
started.
to throw is like not as a GOAT, but an underrated player of a specific type. I always feel like after watching back in film that peak Westbrook, not current Westbrook, 'cause I think current Westbrook's fallen off on that end a little bit. But
Yeah.
16-17 Westbrook was a surprisingly decent point of attack defender.
Yeah. I mean, that a lot of that comes from athleticism too, right? So
Yeah.
he's one of the most athletic players to ever play the game, and
Mm.
he he was able to prove that in that 17 season that he can be a positive defender. And he's never been a negative defender. And I just
Mm.
saw a team, there's a team in one of the other servers that RWF and P Philly are doing right now,
Mm.
and they paired Curry with Westbrook.
That works.
Yep, I'm really looking forward to that in general.
Mm. Who do you
To see
think would be guarding? Who would be guarding ones? Who would be guarding twos? Where's Curry hiding?
well, that's another thing too. Like Curry isn't a bad defender either. So
Yeah, but in these, it probably gets worse.
yeah, I think I want to be careful. I think a lot of people do get worse depending on what era you come from, right? So
Yeah,
he his value derives from his insane motor
yeah,
on offense and his ability to play multiple minutes because he's just I mean he tires defenders out. Whereas on defense, he's more of a I don't even know what type of defender Curry even really is. I mean, he's not bad, but in this sense, because of his size, because he's going up against
right.
all time players instead of like God, instead of um
Austin Rivers.
instead of Austin Rivers.
Here
Yeah,
comes
that's a
Austin
good one.
Rivers.
You know, there's a difference there. That's why he would probably
Yeah,
lose
right.
some
Like,
value.
do you really see Steph Curry guarding James Harden and going, well, this is fine, or
Yeah.
like Steph, or I guess a better example to translate like Steph, like Steve, here comes peak Steve Nash up the court. What's Steph Curry doing?
Yeah. It's definitely interesting, but Westbrook is a good shout.
Yeah,
Just based on his pure athleticism, I feel like he
right. He has
able to
some
stay in
value
front
there.
of guys, and yeah, for sure.
Mm.
Um, Now I think someone I'm about to throw out is gonna be a bit of a hot take. I know we did
Mm.
this last episode, but a player that
Uh-oh.
one of my top 5 favorite players to that is niche per se.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Luke Richard Maba Amute is one of
Oh.
those guys. Um,
Oh.
he's an interesting player because his value once again derives from defense. Um, and I was talking with somebody the other day who's knowledgeable, I hope. And they mentioned how Maba Amute really isn't that far off from Roko defensively.
Yeah. I
And
remember, wasn't Mba Amute the one who during the Rockets' big stint had like a plus 50 plus minus one game?
he might have. I can't remember that one, but um I I've always liked Maba Amute because
Mm-hmm.
the '08 UCLA Bruins were a really good team, by the way.
Yeah.
They had Westbrook, Kevin Love, Maba Amute. God, did they have Darren Collison too? I mean, they had a bunch of people
Mm.
that were just top tier um, for college, and they were just really fun to watch. And like Maba Amute felt like he was a perfect fit there because he just slid in to the DMs. No, I'm kidding. He slid in and just fit perfectly. Yeah, Darren Collison was on that team too.
Yeah.
So they I think there was their starting lineup. My lord. Looks like their starting lineup was Westbrook, Collison, Josh Shipp, Maba Mute, and K Love, which is just insane.
Hmm.
They were definitely a fun team to watch. But Maba Mute is a really good help side or a help defender, kind of like
Hmm.
Roko is. And he was valuable for quite a few years in the NBA. I'm kind of surprised he's actually not still in the league.
Yeah.
He might be old, but I still feel like he could hold some value for some teams. Yeah, he's 30,
Mm.
34, almost 35, so he's up there
Yeah.
in age now, but
Yeah.
yeah,
No longevity. What a bum.
yeah, such a bum.
No, he
Um,
last played last season actually. He played for
yep,
Houston in 1920 and he averaged 1 point a game.
and 3 games played. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, if I'm looking to take a Mbah Mute here, which hey, you never know, I might be probably taking
Yeah.
17.
Hmm.
A better 3-point shooting season for him. Um,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the reason why. Better shooting
Hmm.
season, but he's still the same
Yeah.
value.
Yeah. See, 17 through shooting's also pretty good, if I recall.
Yeah,
Looks like
I
it's
would
plus
probably.
3.
Yeah, I'd probably go with 17 or. Yeesh, I'm looking at this. I don't know if he got enough minutes in 12. He
Mm.
did by 9 minutes. I would probably take a good look at 12 as well.
Hmm.
He's just younger and his shooting. He wasn't really a 3-point shooter then, so not much value there. But in terms
Yeah.
of just overall being younger and all that other stuff, I think he'd be a cool year to take there. 15's not a bad year either, to be quite honest.
Mm.
But yeah, that was just kind of
Mm.
a random shout that I wanted to put out there. Bahamute.
Yeah, I respect it. Muti.
Fun name. Really fun name. Can't deny that.
Mm. Yeah. See. Mm.
You have another type of
Let's see.
defender?
We've gone post perimeter. We've gone off ball. We've gone point of attack. I'm trying to think of who is up there for the straight up like best on ball defender ever.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm. Like who's just like up in somebody's grill, basically? Like
yeah, like this the go of defending on the ball and just clamping a player that likes to handle.
yeah. Um. Well, I think that I mentioned one, Tony Allen.
Hmm.
Um. Trying to think.
Hmm. I guess as a if you're categorizing guards and Gary Payton's up there,
Yep. I think Iguodala is a good shout. Um.
Iguodala's a good one.
Hmm. Hmm. Um.
Hmm.
Bill Russell.
Yeah, Bill Russell, absolutely. Bill Russell. Bill Russell made Wilt Chamberlain look bad, which never ever happened other than Bill Russell. Bill Russell's the only guy who made Wilt look bad.
Yep. Um. Yeah, I think. Uh. Hmm. Yeah, I think those are the only two I can really think of right now off the top of my head. But
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
yeah, for sure. Oh man.
Like,
Trying to think.
yeah, yeah, it's harder. Best on ball. Like,
I think I'll just while we're thinking about that, I just think in terms of somebody that you would be frightened to go into that person's paint.
mm-hmm.
I I think that Wilt is that guy. Um
Yeah,
I mean, Wilt is just a phenomena. basically.
Mm.
He's what, 7'2", probably pushing 315 in his prime. That's freaking scary, man.
Yeah,
I would,
if that dude matches, if that dude checks you up in the half court, you're done for.
yeah. He's
You're
he's
done.
just, oh man, he annihilates shots, and
Mm-hmm.
just crazy to me that
Mm-hmm.
um, how impactful he was defensively. He,
Mm-hmm.
I think I've heard someone took unofficial stats of, I think it was Harvey Pollack, one of the first original statisticians, but he took some stats of blocks per game for Wilt and Bill, and they were both like near 10 a game. Like, it's just insane when you think about that. I think that just is that, man, that's just nuts to me. Yeah. You think of a on-ball defender?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we threw out some good names.
Mm.
No, I think like,
Positional wise, I think is another good category to dive into to strip like positional defenders. Like I think it's easier to argue like non-big defenders and big defenders. Like you could say the best non-big defender ever is Scottie Pippen probably.
that's a good one. I might lean Moncrief.
Yeah, Moncrief's a great one.
Um, Moncrief, Kawhi,
Yep,
Pippen,
yep.
um, non-big, Frazier, Kidd.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, man, who else would be? Um, Obviously we can't go without saying Trae Young. I
Yeah,
mean, oof.
yep, yep. Pete, yeah, 2021 Trae Young, best defensive set I've ever seen. I I've never seen so many people clamped up in my life.
um, Bobby Jones is a good one, even though he like really he didn't play much because he had a heart condition, but he still was a great defender when he was on the court. Um, hmm. Andre Roberson's another
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Um,
all time great, like unironically an all time great perimeter defender.
yeah, kind of crazy, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what he is.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. It's weird how like there are some guys who just didn't do anything else, but were really really great at one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Yeah, but yeah, non-bigs. There's a lot of people named big defender. Obviously, probably Bill Russell. I'd imagine.
Bill Russell, Hakeem
Thurmond.
Olajuwon,
Yeah, Hakeem Thurman, KG.
TD, Tim Duncan,
Hmm.
David Robinson, Wilt Chamberlain, Ben
Right,
Wall,
right.
Dikembe,
Hmm.
Draymond. Um, yeah, you
Hmm.
know, a lot of lot of
Yeah,
great.
right. Yeah. When you're going from a specific type of positional, the names open up way more.
Yeah, yep, for sure. Um, yeah, I think this was a good topic. I like
Yeah, it was
talk.
pretty fun.
I like
Yep.
defense a lot. So,
Yeah,
um,
we got to throw out some fun names.
yeah.
Mm.
Should we move to the more ATD
Yes.
section of this?
So for our next topic, following up even more defense, we want to talk about team construction, all-time drafts, and how we feel when we see a team that's super slanted towards defense. We wanted to go over how we feel about its prioritization, how it could be done best in our preferred methods.
Yep. Why don't you take this one away? Why don't you
Yeah.
go first and give your take?
So to start, I think defense in all-time drafts, it's obviously every single team. It comes down to a matter of how you start.
Mm-hmm.
Every single team outline starts with who your star player is, but let's say you're running a Steve Nash team. You're probably gonna need some heavy defense, but the question is how much.
Correct.
Like, because you can't pick too much defense up without remembering that you need offense, and that's something that's a problem a lot of people run into, including me, who when I was building with Birdie, I was like, oh, Birdie really likes defense, so I let her just take a bunch of defense, and it ended up being a not well received team.
Yeah.
It,
Yes. Yeah, you went a little too hard on the defense side, but
mm-hmm,
that's the thing. Like, I'm more of an offensive slanted guy, even though I love
yeah,
defense. Okay,
mm-hmm,
so the reason why is because you need people to score. I mean,
right,
not to sound like super casual or anything, but the point of basketball, the end goal is to score more points than the other team. Now,
right,
you can stop somebody from doing that while being elite
correct,
on the offensive end as well. So if you get like a Bill Russell per se, it's like, okay, well, I got my anchor,
mm-hmm,
and I can probably get somebody like a Kiki Vandeweghe to go next to him.
mm-hmm,
Immediately raises the offense to a new level. Now, does he make the defense worse? Yeah, but Bill Russell's there. So
right,
it's this, you gotta have a balance, I guess. Like you wanna make sure, like, okay, your starting lineup could be super offensive slanted. But when you go to the bench, you want to make sure that you stack defenders so
right,
you can bring them in for certain situations.
mm-hmm.
Because you can get into a shootout or you can stop the other team while continuing to score. So that's kind of my take on it, per se.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, I've always found it funny, like Birdie and Liss are like, yeah, I want defense, when in reality it's not always the smartest idea to go all in on defense.
Yeah.
Because, like, along with your defensive anchors, you need your offensive elevators.
Yep. Yeah. I think you got to be careful to not be
Mm,
like, I don't like the extremes where it's like, yep, I'm slanting completely offensive. Like,
mm-hmm.
I just
Yep.
don't think that works
Because
because
I have 9 spacers and 1 great defender who will anchor all of it. It's like,
yep,
nope.
because that's
Because
gonna work.
Because, like, I don't want to sound like I'm questioning Bill Russell, but, like, Bill Russell isn't guarding all 5 of your positions for you. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think Bill can do pretty much anything on the defensive end,
yeah,
just
he can
not
do
all at the same
anything, just
time.
not everything.
Not at the same time. You
Yeah,
know,
like, it's
it's
why at first, oh, shout out Andy here, when he was first building his team this draft, he
a
had,
man of
like,
mystery.
yeah, the man, oh no, we exposed him. Yeah, at first he had, like, it was Roy, English, Mullen, Russell, and I'm like, dude, if Bill Russell isn't covering all 3 of those guys at once, you know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, English isn't a horrible defender, but he's not like
He's average.
he's not gonna. Yeah,
He's
so
one of the most average defenders of all time, I think.
yeah, but like I think a lot of people had an issue with him starting Roy at point guard when he had Sleepy Floyd on the bench, but I didn't really see an issue with that. I kind of look past that, but
Yeah, it was a fun team, but when before got McHale, I was genuinely concerned. It was genuinely looking rough because at one point it was Mullen
yeah,
at the 4. It was like,
Mullen
dog,
at the four.
dog, you cannot
Well,
get away with
okay,
this.
if he did Mullen at the four, but with Russell there and he got other defenders, that's not
Mhm.
bad.
No, but the problem was that at one point it was Roy, English, Mullen, Russell. It was
Issue.
like, yeah. But then you
Uh,
got McHale, which was a great pickup because McHale is also another pretty great defender that can make an impact.
for sure. He's also great at going to Trump rallies.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyways, the weekly politics starting
yeah,
Kevin Ian.
we'll get
Today we talk about the I don't even know for does YouTube allow you to say political events? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Because I
I don't.
know, I know. At one point they didn't allow you to say the C word, the virus word.
Oh,
Yeah, they banned people from saying that. So I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about political events.
well, they can't ban me from saying the Ronskis, so
Oh,
um, sorry.
oof.
Um, anyways, uh,
Anyways,
that was my first controversy. I guess, yeah, I think that you want to have that balance, and I
yeah,
think that's what's important because I've seen extreme defensive teams. Like shout out to Ben Stroh, that's my guy. I love that dude. But
yeah. Ben Show's
bruh,
pretty cool,
bruh,
bruh.
we were doing a P Phillies auction, which is just madness to begin with. But
Yeah, shout out to B Philly. You had a horrible draft. I heard so much about it.
this dude, all right, he got he got his pick stolen so many times that he straight up just like was like, screw it, I'm going for like one one style of team. So the starting
Mm-hmm.
lineup is Jason Kidd, Sidney Moncrief, Sean Marion,
Oh,
Rasheed Wallace, Joakim Noah, and then the bench is Hal Greer, Michael Finley, Michael Bridges, Amari Stoudemire, who's unironically going to be their leading scorer, and then he also was like, you know what? What else do I need? No, I don't need more scoring. I got Amari now. Why don't I get Nate Thurman too, just for the fun fees? Um, and
I
actually,
mean, yeah, that team, like, realistically, that team is scoring 50 points per game and allowing 60 points per game. So,
they're losing. That's the whole thing.
yeah.
This draft was actually kind of funny because it had the two extremes. So it was probably the most slanted defensive team I've ever seen. And then
Mm,
J Ho built the most aggressively
mm.
aggressive offensive team I've ever seen.
Aggressive offense. Jeez.
Russell Westbrook, Michael Redd, George Gervin, Zion Williamson, Carl Anthony
Oh
Towns.
my goodness.
And then his
That's a
best defender, his two best defenders, is Mookie Blaylock off the bench. Donovan, not Donovan Mitchell, but he's next. One of the two is Mookie Blaylock. Then it's Donovan Mitchell, Steve Francis, Lou Hudson, and then the other good defender is Bob Gray. Bob Ant.
Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah,
But
it's getting to a point where like people need to realize that they're not going to get high seed without having a balanced, well constructed team.
yep, that's
Westbrook's Zion Cat is not well constructed.
and then why don't you just throw in Gervin and Red there too, who are just like,
Yeah. Like, okay, sure, you're scoring 200 points per game, but you're allowing 300.
yep, literally. Um,
Is no.
so you
Like,
want to
is
you
Westbrook the best defender in the starting lineup?
in the starting lineup, yeah, he is absolutely.
Zion probably number two.
You probably put Cat.
Yeah.
I would put Cat number two.
Mm, that's concerning.
Yeah, it
Mm.
is. Anyway,
That's just now settling in. Oh no,
nope.
Cat's their second best defender.
Yep. Um,
Yeah,
so,
ouch. But yeah, it comes down to a matter of no matter what, you should never slant too hard. You can slant, but never slant too hard because The art of these all-time drafts is that you're building your perfect team.
Yep.
Having 9 scorers and 1 defender isn't a perfect team. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Yeah, it's just you gotta. And the thing is, like I said, you can go ahead and you can slant offensively for your starting lineup, or you can slant defensively. Just make sure that when
Yeah,
you go to your bench, make sure you're filling in those holes so
right.
that it's not.
Like,
Um, yeah. So
and
you're
if
not.
you're gonna slant and you're starting off, at least have 2. Like, if
Yep.
you want to slant offense, then do 3 offensive players and 2 defenders.
Yep.
Because, like, even a Bill Russell, he isn't guarding all 5 positions.
No, he's not.
That's where it becomes limited whenever you want to slant super hard. Steve Nash is an elevator, but he's not elevating 4 Andre Robersons.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
um, shall we move on to our budget
hmm.
challenge?
As I worded it in mod chat, Booget challenge.
The Andrew Bogut challenge.
Booget challenge. Yeah, so we will we'll get this budget challenge started earlier than usual because we felt like getting a little more deep into it this time. For this challenge, we did a blocks per game challenge where the minimum blocks per games we could have was 11. So 11th episode, Bill Russell themed defense episode, 11 blocks per game. Ian, would you like to go first or shall I?
Whoopsie. Why don't you go first? I accidentally muted myself, so yeah.
Yay!
1:35 in the
Well,
morning, all right.
edit in some confetti, some child sound effects. Yeah. Yeah, so I had the Washington basketball team. And when we edit in the teams, it'll list like the block per game amount. I had 89 Ron Harper, 88 Michael Jordan, 13 Thabo Sefalusha, 95 Sam Perkins, 93 Akeem. Then for the bench, I had 20 Ben Simmons, 76 Freddie Brown, 72 Jerry Sloan, 70 Happy Hairston, and 85 Mark Eaton.
Yeah, Mark Eaton took care of those blocks for you, so
Yeah,
way
I
to,
know.
way to cheat the challenge.
Hey. Without Mark Eaton, I still had like 9 blocks per game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I like the team. I like the power
Yeah,
duo of MJ and
yeah,
Hakeem.
that was the main appeal to me here because you have Jordan and Akeem, and they're playing next to spacers like Thabo and Perkins, and it probably plays out really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Like,
normally don't see Thabo starting, which I like to see because I like
yeah,
Thabo a lot.
yeah,
He's
Thabo,
another
Thabo,
underrated
yeah.
defender, by the way,
When it,
people.
oh, agreed. He's a really great 3 and D. Like when it comes to a lineup like this, he's especially more valuable because he's providing a lot for the power duo to work with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like it.
Mm.
So, for my team, I was the Trey Young haters.
Yeah, it's a
Reason I
team. I still don't even know the full team because I forgot to turn on light mode. Look at his team, and it's just white and yellow.
yeah,
It's just radiating my eyes.
it's
Let me
not
turn
how
on light theme. Oh, there we go. Okay.
yeah, yeah, it's a lot nicer. Um So I'm the Trey
Hey,
Young haters because it's just kind of a meme because Trey Young sucks at defense. So
mhm,
we're gonna hate on him because he sucks at defense, and this is a defensively slanted team. So,
mhm.
anyways, my point guard is Dennis Johnson. He averaged zero point 0.8 blocks per game in 1980-81. My shooting guard is Lou Hudson, my new favorite player to pick in these, by the way. He's severely underrated still. Well, Lou wasn't around when blocks were recorded, although towards the end of his career he was. So for this specific season of 1969-70, he has 0 blocks per game. My small forward, or 3/4, is Kevin Durant, who averaged 1.6 blocks per game in 16-17. My power forward 5, when the other center's out, is Tim Duncan, who averaged 2.9 blocks per game in 02-03. My center is Big Ben Wallace, averaging 3 blocks per game in 03-04. And then for the bench, I went Hal Greer, who also did not record blocks because they weren't recorded then. I went with the aforementioned Andre Roberson.
Andre Bulberson.
0.9 blocks per game.
Booberson. Yeah.
Jamal Wilkes at the 3 on the bench. 0.3 blocks per game, 79-80. Bob Dandridge, also on the bench, 0.7 blocks per game, 78-79. And then Bo Outlaw, really fun player to pick, to be quite honest with you. 99-2000, 1.8 blocks per game. And then for this one, I thought it would be interesting to give you guys a little preview. I did a rotation. Now, for those of you who are new to this, and I don't know how many new viewers we have, and these, sometimes when you have a team that might be hard to visualize, or you just want to do it anyways, we do rotations to show kind of how these lineups would work with these specific players. So usually I split mine into 2 12-minute rotations and then 4 6-minute rotations. I'll keep mine up on the screen for a little bit of time because I don't feel like reading it all out right now. But it basically breaks down the minutes all these guys are playing. So, like, for instance, Ben Wallace is going to be playing 30 minutes. All 30 of them are going to be played at the center position. Tim Duncan's going to play 42. He's going to play 24 at power forward and 18 at center. So on and so forth. Like, you get the gist. But I thought it'd be cool just to throw it up there because, 1, I did a really cool design, and 2, it's just fun to learn about. So, yeah, it's an interesting thing we like to do here is rotations, and then we like to
Yeah, I'm really glad you took the time and put some commitment into this budget challenge with the rotations. I myself did not, because I was, even though it's Labor Day, I took the time to get my college classes done for the week, so that's fun.
Nice.
Yep.
Very nice. I had a little help with the rotation, so I'm not going to take full credit. It's always good.
Who helped you? Spill the beans.
I'm not going to spill the beans, but I have a plug.
Plug.
I like talking things through, so.
Oh no, the man of mystery again.
Dear God, no. It was not this specific. It was not that man of mystery.
Andy would be the worst rotation helper, bro.
Oh my God. It would just be like mid, sadly, every time someone asks him for help. But
how much time should I give this player? Your mom spends time with me. Gee, I got.
Anyways, Andy's funny. He's a good guy.
Andy's a good guy.
But yeah, that's our challenge this week.
Yeah, really good challenge. I really liked both of our teams. I made the first good Ben Simmons pick in centuries.
Yeah, that's yeah. Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Ben Simmons.
Poor fella. Getting slandered all over the timelines, but
I know he deserves it.
Yeah.
Let's see. When was the last time he was picked in our server? I'm just gonna take a quick. Oh wait, off picked him. That's right. Rip
Who did?
off.
Oh,
Yeah, that's for the meme. Let me look at this team real fast, and that's we'll close the episode by making fun of a bad team.
oh God.
The Houston Rockets, ACD 24, James Harden, Jody Mars, Ron Artest, Karl Malone, Kristaps Porzingis, and then on the bench,
Promising top 4. Just was
yeah.
like, yep, let me draft Porzingis
Kristaps
at center.
Porzingis.
Yeah.
Then the bench, Ben Simmons, Shai, Gilgeous Alexander, Jay Crowder, Jeremy Grant, and Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah.
He spent way too much on his bench.
Yeah. And then he spent way too much on Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah. Way better spending could have been done there, but there's your meme team of the episode. Everyone go to the server, make fun of off, courtesy of me. I give you all permission.
Okay. Well, I don't.
I do.
Anyways, well, I
Yeah.
enjoyed this episode. We were very
Yeah,
defensive oriented, but hey,
I got to talk about some D.
pause. Sorry, I mean I just had to there, but
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun episode. Talked about some really good defenders. Went through pretty fast. Probably best to take it easy for my boy Ian over here. He needs to rest up.
For sure, I do.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a tired
Yes, sir.
person, tired and haven't been feeling well, but hey, we move.
Yep,
So
everyone who watches the episode in full, please make sure to tell Ian thank you for committing and still appearing, even though he's not feeling well. I really appreciate him.
thank you.
So
Thank you.
everyone, send your well wishes and thank yous to Ian.
I don't appreciate you. And that's a weekly vibe this week, guys. So we'll see.
So it's the weekly vibe. Next week is the what's next? I had a joke. I had a joke.
You have a joke.
I had a joke.
Well, that's tough.
Next week, on next episode 12 of the Weekly Vibe, we will be going to court for the custody of our children.
Oh, yeah.
That was a joke, everybody. That was what I had.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about that. If I have children, that is news to me.
Yeah, he's a mixed name. I named him after both of us. He's named Ev.
That's okay. That's a good spot to end. I'm gonna start typing out the command for Craig so that he can get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah.
Shout out to the homie Ev. And
oh my God. Anyways, we will see you next week where we will not be talking about any of this shit ever again. Peace, guys.
Peace.
You're the problem with the